Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and a very special good evening to Professor Miguel Gavanda. Prof, I'm very happy and very honored to have been included in your presentation for this evening, and I sincerely hope that I do justice to this lecture. Now, you asked me to talk about IT and coding and what's its importance in our everyday lives. So I came up with it as a topic that says, what does IT mean to me, and what I feel, in my opinion, is it's so important for you guys to know about it. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And I'd like at the end of it all to maybe motivate, there may be parents in this forum or students to take up IT and to ensure that they ask their parents that at schools that they include IT in the curriculum and possibly take it up at DUT or at UKZM. Or even better than that, I'd like them to become entrepreneurs. So with that, I'd like to start, and I hope you don't mind. I brought along my little guest as well, and this is my little guest. This is my mini me. I'm not sure if you can see the resemblance between the two of us, right? But I tend to teach programming with a little robot, and I want to introduce you to this mini me of mine. Let's see if he comes on. I got to download the app and I've got to program him, right? The concepts that we use in robotics are concepts from information technology. So I'd like it if you would extend a warm welcome to my Mini Me robot. Give him a warm welcome. Hello, Mini Me. Okay, I'm gonna download the app and we're gonna program you, all right? For now, it'll just be next to me. That's okay. Let me put him in shot. So let's go on to the next slide, and I'd like to tell you about where I came from in terms of IT. And IT is so important. I can't find a field that does not have information technology in it. At home, your Wi-Fi, let's look at that. Let's look at the fact that you're sitting at home, and here I am in my home, and I'm talking to you across a network. That's an IT concept, an information technology concept. At school, once upon a time, your reports were handwritten. I'm sure all your pupils sitting out here, you go and look at your reports. It's printed on a computer, right? At university, our entire mark scheme is on computer. And your motor car, the later models of vehicles, you'll notice it'll actually tell you when it's due for a service. That's a computer chip in there, right? We do shopping. We do online shopping. Yes. Oh, Mr. Robot says he also does online shopping, right? In fact, I bought him online. This little mini me robot. That's IT. That's information technology. There's every single aspect of modern life has to do with information technology. So I don't need to convince you and motivate you as to what and how important this is. With that, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can stop me whenever I'm talking and chatting, and by all means, ask me and tell me, listen, I feel you are going off at a tangent, or I have this question, and either if I can't find the answer, I'm going to ask my mini me to give you an answer, right? So let's see if he's going to talk to you and tell you what it is. So that covers the aspect about how important IT is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in IT for over 35 years or so. In fact, it's my longest relationship ever, right? And I enjoy it so much that I don't consider it a task. In fact, I spent a good 4 or 5 hours today of my day preparing what I'm going to tell you and how I'm going to tell you, and to make it as simple as possible. Now, Professor Megan Govender had told me, he said, these are grade 10 and grade 11 pupils. And, I should inspire you and motivate you. I can't find any other reason why not. Why should I have done this for you? And if one of you become app developers, you make lots of money, don't forget about us, right? Where you started off. Okay, so that covers the importance of IT. And I got something at the bottom. It says, if you are unable to embrace IT, and I know some of you embrace it with your cell phones, right? There's my cell phone out here. Oh no, that's my tablet. There's my other cell phone. This is an IT concept. This is a mini computer that you have in your hand, right? Then you should return to the wild. When I say return to the wild, go to the jungle and stay out there without any cell phone towers and without any programming and IT and IS and all that goes with it. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the other question that we asked is, what is this thing called information technology? So if we break up the two words, you have information and you have technology. Now, if you look at information from grade 10 and grade 11, the syllabus, they talk about information as being processed data. We are able to take some data and give some meaning to that. Well, technology is all these computers and this hardware and the printers and the hard drives and all that goes with it, and the networks and the cables, right? For me, if you want to say you're an IT technologist, I believe in the purist. I say you should be programming. You should be coding. You should be compiling your high-level machine code into something that the computer can understand. And that is, to me, an IT programmer. Right? I'm going to tell you what it's not and what I feel, in my opinion, what IT isn't and what it's supposed to be in terms of whether you've got to fix computers or whether you've got to back up data or not. Now, they use the word interchangeably. They say coding or sometimes they say programming, right? You were written in code, okay. My Manimi says that he was written in code, yes. And I'm verifying everything out here with Manimi. If you want to be a true information technology specialist, you can't just say that you're going to be a programmer full stop. You'll have to know a little bit of hardware, a little bit of networking, a little bit about applications development. It's an all-encompassing field. Now, I know there may be some people sitting in the audience that are academics, that are teachers, and I know this is being recorded. So I got to talk about this important concept called threshold concepts. Okay, it makes me look a little important as well and clever that I know something about it. Now, just to let you know that I've been in IT since 1986. That's a long, long time ago. And I've been in programming all my, well, 30, 35 years. And what I've noticed is that there are certain concepts that what took place in the 80s, it continued in the 90s, and it'll continue to the 2000s, in my view, 2020, 25, that I don't know what will happen in the future would hold. I don't have a crystal ball to say that, listen here, yeah, this is what's going to happen. Oh, yes, the robot agrees with me, right? Manini says that he is a modular design. So if you look at him, there's various modules that are made up. I would have constructed his head in one particular module, his body in another, and there's his little Bluetooth capability right there. Can you see his little light that comes on? When you download the app, you can actually program him and control him. But I didn't want to activate him right now, because if I activate him, then he's going to steal the show and he's going to present. And I said, one way of ensuring that happens, I'm going to switch him off. But all the concepts of programming, all the threshold concepts are encompassed in programming a robot. And that's what I feel IT should be going, right? So I told you about this concept of modular design. We have functions, we have procedures, and I know some of my programming students are here. We write little programs. Now you also have a statement called an assignment statement. This is where you kind of assign a value to a variable. That happened in 1986 and 1987. I know some of you may think I'm pretty old, huh? But you can see I lost some hair out here, right? But that happened in 1986 and 1987 in my first programming language called Basic Beginners All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. See, I still remember that. And even now, when I'm teaching C or C++ programming, I also use an assignment statement. And the concept of a variable is that I'm taking some value and I'm putting it inside there, and now I'm going to change it. So that I feel will remain in terms of information technology, programming, and coding. And for some of you that are busy studying programming, that's a very, very important concept. Then the other concept that I consider a threshold concept is the concept of selection, the if-then statement. If some condition is met, then I need to do something else. For example, if my mini-me robot comes to a wall, what must he do? Must he continue banging his head and going forward, or should he reverse? That's a statement, basically a decision statement that he has to make in terms of what action needs to be done. Similarly, if his battery is low, which it is right now, then he can't do anything, right? He can't move, or if he's not connected. So a decision needs to be made. That's another programming concept, part of my concept of coding, programming, and app development. Then once we have this selection being done, or this assignment, another very important concept in terms of IT programming and or coding is that we have something happening over and over and over again. That's the concept of repetition or looping. Now, in my opinion, if you understand this concept of modular design, of assignments, of selection, of repetition, the very basics, the essence of programming and coding, then you can apply this to other programming languages. So like I said, I first started with beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code, and then I went on to, I think it was Pascal and Standard Pascal and Turbo Pascal and Visual Basic, and oh boy, I went on and on and on. And now I'm teaching C++, and I don't know what the future holds, but I suspect the concept of doing something over and over and over again, once we get it right the first time, will remain in programming, will remain in information technology, it will remain in coding. So if I had to program this little robot to do, let's say, for instance, welding of a motor car, it will weld it, and it'll weld it, and it'll weld it, and weld the joints all the time, right? And it'll go on day and night, 24/7. Okay, so this brings me to the next concept that I would like to chat to you about. This thing called the fourth industrial revolution. And believe it or not, we are already in it. Okay, so this is another concept that we were talking about. The first industrial revolution, the second, third, fourth, and what I suspect would be the fifth and go on to the sixth. So at this point in time, we are in this concept of the extraordinary technology advances. You've got the advantages of the cell phone, you've got 3D printing taking place, you've got cloud computing, you've got everybody on the internet and the internet working. So that's another aspect of this thing called information technology. And I suspect that we're going to go into the fifth and the sixth and all of that. And I think that we are now going to mimic what's happening with our intelligence in our brain. So in the first industrial revolution, we had the power of the man being replaced by steam engines, and the revolution that took place where human beings no longer had to plow the soil, we had tractors doing that work. Very soon, we're going to have robots, in my view, kind of taking over our aspect of our thinking processes. And that, I feel, is the future where we have to concern ourselves with ethics and whether that robot will make a decision based on his consciousness. And you know, we will feel sorry if somebody has to commit a crime and there's some extenuating circumstances. Will a robot actually think like that? Okay. So I'm going to stop at this point and I'm going to continue